was the Trilobite statue? Why? What is the Trilobite statue? What is the Grub seal? Don't the Grubs have seal of violence over them? And what is the seal of Weaver's Den? Who's that guy in Weaver's Den? All sorts of stuff that need to be figured out. So I have decided to contribute to the haunted lore community and talk about Zote. This guy I've been talking about countless times. So strap in. You'll know more about Zote when you leave this video, unless you instantly left. So, yeah. Now time for the real question. Is Zote a boy? No. Zote is not a boy. So not being boy is pretty well reached consensus in the community, but if you're still thinking he's void, or if he's a vessel, you're wrong. So, first of all, we can take stuff from the Great Prince of Boss Fight, so really, all the information we have is from the Colosseum when he fights out. And when you hit him, he gives you soul. You could argue that when you fight the Hollow Knight, he gives you soul, but I have counter argument for that. In the Abyss, there is a statue that, when you try to dream nail it, it has a seal. It is a layered seal of void and soul. Why? Because when you dream nail siblings, which are completely made of void, they just fall to the ground. Because void is reacted to the dream nail. So when a dream nail just void, it'll get destroyed. And when a layer of soul is on void, it protects the void from the dream nail. Now the Hollow Knight, being related to the Pale King, the Pale King is directly related to soul. So that shell that the Hollow Knight has, being directly related to soul, is layered above its void, making it so that it doesn't do that when dream nailed. Just fall flat. Which we see. Also, so when dream nailing Zote, there's no special thing about it, but there's no special thing with dream nailing the Hollow Knight. But also you get soul when attacking the Hollow Knight, which can also be made up for that layering soul and void that I talked about. Also, you can relate this to the Hornet boss fight. Hornet is not void. Of course. Mossback made a good video about why. But Hornet isn't void, and Zote isn't void, because Zote is not a vessel. Also, if you take a look at Zote's mask, or shell, it's a completely different hue than the Hollow Knight, the Pale King, the Vessels, the Knight, Broken Vessel, all of them. It's a completely different shade than all the other ones. It's a completely different shade than Hornet, which leads into our next question. Because since it's a different shade than Hornet and a different shade than the Pale King, then that means Zote is not related to the Pale King. Yes, it is not. He's not. That's also pretty well reached existence. Sorry, but it's gonna get a little bit more ranty next section. So, there's a lot more stuff about Zote not being void, like how if you leave him to die, he doesn't leave behind a shade, and all sorts of stuff like that. Anyways, so Zote is not related to Pale King. First of all, his shell or mask or whatever it is too brown. Is not the same color as all the vessels and the Pale King and Hornet, so he can't be related. He also can't be a vessel because he's gendered, and there's only one, and he can't be related to the Pale King because according to the dialogue in the game, there's only one gendered child of the Pale King, which is Hornet. the child of Pale King and Hera. Also, there's more stuff. So it talks about towers, which could be related to the White Palace, but that's obviously struck down by other stuff. But there's one more thing, one more Zote dialogue that I need to talk about. It states, where is it? Where is it? It states, "I'll kill 1,000 more. Will that be enough, Father?" You see, who is Zote's father? This is very confusing. On his dialogue, he doesn't say much. He only says that one dream nail dialogue, but there is some stuff. In one of the dialogues, he mentions how the towers remind him of home. That could, but that doesn't lead us to who Zote's father is. Zote also says in his dream nail dialogue that he fulfilled a promise he made to himself for glory. When he's talking about the precepts to Beretta. But this doesn't give us any evidence either. He also mentions how Dirtmouth reminds him of his hometown, which means that he is definitely not related to the Pale King. But this is very interesting. Maybe we see Zote's father in Silksong. Maybe not. I don't know. But Zote seems to have great respect for his father. Seems to maybe owe something to his father. And he does not like his mother. He does say, in one of his precepts, not to trust mothers. So, I don't know. Well, that's all we have. That's pretty much all we have. All the information we have about Zote. He's not void. He's not related to the Pale King. And, he does seem to have some issues with his parent. But that's all we know about Zote so far. So, subscribe, like the video, watch my other videos, farm me views, classic stuff. Until next time, bye.